these are, in some respects, mentors, right? Do they matter? And I say this, Emma, because I have kids coming up to me all the time saying, Steve, I need a mentor. And they sometimes say, can you be my mentor? And I'm thinking, I've done 17,000 hours of podcasting. And you haven't like, that was the mentorship.
That was the mentorship.
What's your take on finding a mentor and how pivotal and important that is to become a successful person?
Listen, from my own experience, I don't think I had any mentors. I started work. Well, let's talk about real work, right? So it's like I've had a job since I was 12 years old. I've worked a paper round, and then I worked in the delis, and then I worked in clothes shops. And when I got my first real job in an office in a fashion show production company, I was 18 years old. So I've had a salaried job in a place that was working towards something that I felt was interesting and in the kind of direction of where I wanted to go since I was 18. At that point, you make whoever is around you, if you're smart, you make whoever is around you your mentor. I used to sit in front of my boss, and everybody thought that was so unfortunate because she could see my screen, and that was like the beginnings of online shopping. Net-a-Porter was our client, and we all had a discount, so everyone would sit on Net-a-Porter all day, except me, because my boss sat behind me, and they were like, what a nightmare. And I was like, no, not a nightmare at all. Whatever she says when she's on her sales calls, I would write down, and I would use them later on my sales calls. Now, was she my mentor? No, she was my boss. But I used her as such because I would learn from her. I'd take, I even copied her outfits, I would do the whole thing. And so for me, she was really formative. But I don't think that you should walk around looking for a mentor. I think you have to walk around asking questions, because anyone who's going to be a good mentor probably doesn't have time to mentor you, first. Secondly, depending who you are and what your exposure is, you're not going to have the right people around you to get mentored. So you've just got to be super inquisitive. And I think it's really important to take where you are and figure out who is around you and where can you get that type of mentorship from. For me, in the beginning, I would just take whatever client I had. If I come into contact with the CMO or the CEO, I'd just ask them a question. I'd be in the meeting, I'd be like, I have 2 other questions for you. It have nothing to do with the work that we're doing or the, whatever brief I was there to deliver. And I'd ask a question.